to this video on how to set up the hardware piece of the Raspberry Pi HomePiSecurity system. I'm going to show you how to use the Raspberry Pi 2 to set up the system. I also have used this on a Raspberry Pi B and an A, so they all work, but for this video I'm going to use a B. This is an example of a sensor that is used for a security system. This is a door sensor where this guy is put up inside the door jamb and he's connected to a wire, and then this little piece it's the magnet piece that's actually put into the door, so when the door closes and they come together, it actually closes the circuit and then you know that it's completed. This is an example of a piece of wire. I'm just going to use this in my example of setting it up to hook up those sensors. I also just have two other sensors so that at least I could show you hooking up three devices. I also have some connectors. These are just I bought a group of these, how I'm going to hook the GPIO pins up to each of the doors. And then these are just going to help me hook it up. It's also important that you have a diagram so you kind of know what you're connecting. This is a diagram of the Raspberry Pi 2 and each of the GPIO pins. So let's get going. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up this sensor so we have it all ready. So very simple. Again, you would normally just have this all connected up. These wires are run throughout your house to a central location, and each door then or window has one of these sensors connected to it. Again, this example is just showing you door, but window would be fine. So okay, so I have those three hooked up. I'm going to set those aside for a second. Now what I'm going to do is hook up to the Raspberry Pi the 4 connectors. I need one connector for the ground. All of the doors or connections or windows have to all be connected to a common ground, and then one pin or one connector for each door that I'm going to be putting. So I'm going to go back to my diagram. I'm going to be using the ground in position 6. I'm also going to be using GPIO pin 18, 17, and 27. So to connect that up, I'm just going to take the black in this example, and I'm going to hook up the black to the ground pin. Just make sure that's seated really well. Then the other three really doesn't matter. We'll figure out their positions later when we get into the code. And I'm just going to put in 2 pins over, the white one into pin 18, then across pin. Okay, good. And then the one right next to it, purple one, is going to be 27. Okay, so I have them all connected now, one to ground and then 3 other pins. So now that I have that, I'm going to take these 3 connections that I have for 3 different doors, and to close the circuit, we need to have all of the black connected to common ground. So what I'm going to do is just for each one of these, take the black, again this would be all of your doors and windows, come to a common place, so all the blacks connected together, and I'm going to take this extra piece. This is the guy that I'm going to hook to these that then will be connected to the actual GPIO pin. So give that a little bit of a twist, put on the nut, so that all the grounds are connected together. So now that all those are connected together, I'm going to hook up that common ground to my black pin so that I have all of the connections grounded, and then each other pin will be set aside for each door. So just hook those up. Okay, there we have it. Now I have, in essence, Raspberry Pi hooked up to these 3 doors, and those will be in the closed position.